Guess what it says? It says it's 6 o'clock. We are live. It's Real Unfiltered Talk. I'm James Bryant alongside the artist. Remember, I came up with a new name tonight.
Oh, that's right.
Yeah. I thought it was really cool. You ready for this? Leonardo da Fishy. That's our guy.
That could.
He is the artist of the fishery. Mr. Dion Hibden, two-time world champion, Leonardo da Fishy. How you doing tonight, buddy?
It's sad, but that could stick.
I like it.
That's catchy enough that
came up with that one all by myself.
Some of this crew sitting out here is probably going to use that against me.
Right? You paint with a rod brush.
That's right. That's right.
Right.
Hell of a lot better than old man.
This
yeah,
is
that's right.
This is part 2 in our series of our threesome. Don't read into that the wrong way. We kind of enjoy that. Oh, hey, how was your week? I already know how it went, but I just want to hear you say it publicly.
My week's good.
Tell me, oh mighty deer slayer, about your big deer you got.
My week's going great.
You know what?
I haven't fired a shot yet. But
he sounded like every crappy deer hunter. Oh, I saw him, but I let him go by. No, you didn't.
You want me to start stacking them now?
But then you did say it's too hot and I'm too lazy to clean them.
That's right.
Or is it clean or process or skin?
Process. I do the
what
whole
is the correct
shooting
word,
match.
oh dear mighty?
It's process, really.
If you kill a deer, the first thing you do, I guess it's harvest. That's the word.
You harvest them.
Harvest.
You harvest them, then you skin them, and then you process them.
If you cut down a cornfield, you cut it down, but then when you're done, you've harvested it. So you shoot it, and then you...
When you said harvested, it almost sounded like spawning.
I almost pulled a shanded there.
That's right.
I did. I almost pulled a shanded.
Like spawning.
That fish spawned it.
He spawned it, and he escaped us, and we're talking the show.
Being mean.
Well, he's no longer with us, so he's not here to defend himself.
Being mean,
that's
so
right.
Stop it.
And that's the rule. If you're not here to defend yourself, you get it all. Right?
That's right.
That's right. So you did not kill a deer.
I have not so far. No.
There's no shortage.
No, there's still plenty of them out there.
Gotcha. We could really hammer on MDC tonight if you want to.
On MDC?
In the conservation department.
Oh, well, go right ahead.
Do you know
scare me.
You know what the stupid crap they did in our county this time?
What's that?
So they did a 2-day CWD study. And they made everybody drive up to Mennonite country to check them.
Huh.
Which is weird. And then, or you could go like up to Stover High School. But down here, southern Morgan County, where all the deer are big and healthy, no, you got to drive them 20 miles up where the bouffons live.
I hunt real close to Stover High School, and I wouldn't have done that.
You just wouldn't have had it checked.
Yeah, probably not.
Yeah, I think that's a really good conversation to, just go ahead and just process and harvest your deer, and it never happened.
I've heard tell of people doing that.
I've heard that too, but I wouldn't encourage it.
No, you'll get in
hint,
trouble.
Hint, wink, wink.
Somebody stole my notes.
Somebody stole Dad's notes. He's not going to be able to work from memory now. You want to go look for it? You can get up and go.
There's a pad.
You left it on your desk
pad?
back there. It's not over here. So yeah, so no deer.
Stone.
We didn't hunt.
We can carry you till you find your notes.
It is a Glen Man truck tab about this long, white.
All right, Rod. On the reel counter, look for
On the reel
caveman
counter.
scratches that have something about lures on it. Because I understand that's what we're going to talk about tonight.
Relief tech man to go get.
I know.
Which our other
I bet
tech
you
guys
took it and made a stupid note on it.
I would like to thank Ron Sisk for Basil Hayden tonight. That's my shameless plug because we had a huge stockpile and it was time to bring out the bourbon. So the Basil Hayden, courtesy of Ron Sisk, my main man. And the reason I say that because we had a promotion this week too. Rod moved up from third into the second. New tech guy.
There you go.
And Ed went to the minor leagues. Our beer guy decided to go on a trip out to nowhere deer hunting. And he ranked us down about third, so he's now fourth on the list. So he's moved from the second row, because I had him back to B team. Now he's on the back row.
He might not even
get
set at the lead
back,
table
if he's listening,
next
he
week.
might be pretty mad, but it's the way it is, Ed. Deal with it. He moved out.
Yeah.
He's at the bottom. You haven't fished either.
Me? No. Once deer season comes in, I'm kind of done with that.
I think we're about into good crappie.
I do know a little bit about the crappie. Me and Peyton has went a couple of afternoons.
Peyton and I. Okay, go ahead.
Sorry.
It's all right.
Jesus. You and your school teacher. I mean, come on.
That's all right. Are you talking about me and Amanda?
We caught them and they wasn't spawning.
Hey, are you talking about me and Amanda?
Yeah.
Okay.
Catch
She
'em.
teaches biology though, doesn't she?
He didn't catch it.
But
Catch
yeah,
it.
me and Amanda.
Yeah, there you go.
All right, but anyways, yeah, we caught a few, but it wasn't easy up under the docks, and we backed out a little bit deeper, and we really caught them.
So tip of the week, go with a 78 pointer.
They're about 10, 12 foot
Deep?
around brush. Yeah,
Nah.
you can take and drop a jig down there and catch all you want.
You can do that 364 days a year.
Well,
the crappie are always in 12
okay,
feet.
well, 3 days ago it was really working.
Were you harvesting for numbers or harvesting for size?
Actually, they were mostly big ones.
Really?
Yeah, you catch a lot
What's
of
your
nice
opinion
ones.
of big? 8.5?
No, I'm talking. We caught
We're talking about Hibdons here. When they're
out of
harvesting,
30.
if it's close to 9, it's in the bucket,
Yeah.
man.
But when
Out of-
Dion says 8.5,
Yeah.
he holds it 8.5's like this.
You
so-
take it by the
It
lip and
depends
just give it a
solely-
shake to make sure it hits the
It
9 on the
depends
ticker.
solely on how hungry I am.
Yeah.
Okay, they get
Yeah.
smaller as the hungrier I get, but no, out of the 30 we kept, I mean, we probably had a dozen that would weigh a pound.
Yeah.
So those are good ones.
Well, not bad. In the tournament world, they got you about 19th. Yeah, not bad.
I don't fish crappie terms. I don't care.
I'm giving everyone a visual to where it would, like, in
and
the
I
scope
hear-
of things.
I hear these
The
guys
average
about
guy
catching.
would say, hey, I caught a pound crappie. They're like, whoa, that's not very big.
Yeah.
I mean, because they think of like what you see in the grocery store, like a pound of beef. It's
Yeah.
like, yeah, that's a meal for two.
Yeah.
So is it 1 pound crappie going to harvest out
I'll
or clean
give you-
out to about
I'll give it to you.
half a
Those
pound of
crappie
meat.
fishermen are a special
Maybe
breed.
half a pound.
maybe a half a pound of processed meat
Yeah.
on a 1 pound fish, right?
I'm with you. I'm
or as
with
the
you.
term is, a fillet.
The crappie fishermen are a special breed.
They are.
It's too bad they don't have any tournaments to fish anymore.
You know, that's right.
No, we're not going there. We're not going there.
Oh,
again
wait a minute.
tonight.
Hey, that's
But
all
we're
right.
still, my kid's bass fishing in the middle of the week today.
Yeah, until
know.
it's gone too.
That's right.
It's
Until
on
it's
the
gone,
way.
but at least we're hanging in there.
You start looking, they're all, it's kind of.
You got to play golf part time to fish in it, but
Yeah,
still,
here's
it's a
the-
golf and bass tournament, all
Yeah.
right.
Here's the
But you
thing.
don't ever hear of a crappie and bass tournament or a crappie and golf tournament.
Sure, they have. It's called a multi-species tournament. We should
You're
have
so
one.
full of crap.
Yeah,
we should have one.
We should
They
have
don't
one.
have one because
Yeah.
they're not popular.
yeah.
Yeah, carp and catfish and
Man, we got so
bass
far off
and-
in the weeds. I forgot I had something really good to say too. Oh, I know what
I
it
don't
was. I know
know
what I was
what it
going to
was.
say. I was going to say, it's gotten so bad that, and is making light of it. It's almost like watching politicians. The pro bass
Oh
guys.
yeah. Oh,
it's
I
like
agree.
the same thing. It's if you watch it, it's like you can just flip it to Fox News or the Outdoor Channel, and it's the same conversation. The other side's a bunch of morons, and you hear it like back and forth. But
I think I would rather watch Fox News right
I
now.
woke up about 3 in the morning, and I like had all the world's problems solved, and I thought somebody slipped something I drank last night because it was like everything was like clarity, like everything was clear, and I thought I know how to fix the tournament industry, and I thought here we go, you ready? Because this is going to affect you too, because your family has manipulated the whole system for a while and the rules. So here's how you fix it. Yeah, buddy. No. It's in my counter home. Sneaky 4-year-old under the table. So here's what you do. Now everybody that's follow bass fishing, listen closely. This is the solution. You get rid of the entire no information rule. So I don't care how you do it. Hire a guide. Do what you want to. Talk to each other. Go share your spots. I don't care. Come pre-fishing time, same thing. If you're too stupid to let your buddy know where you're fishing at a tournament, go be it. But come tournament day, anglers cannot share information with each other and no live technology. Now, the sharing information rule starts when the scales open until they close. So if you're standing in the weigh-in line and they said, hey, Dion, where'd you catch them? You can say, in the water, dumb shit, or whatever you guys want to say. Or if you're all fishing like pooled teams like the kids do now, because they do that, talk then. Solves the problem. No polygraphs, no bull crap. If you want to go get that information. Now, I think if you hire the information out, maybe there's a rule in there, but that's my solution.
Huh.
And see, that would keep the family teams from pooling together. It would keep the young kids that all travel together and they all share their information and pool. Whatever. Until tournament day, then you can't share because we've seen it a million times. You meet out and Todd can agree with you. Meet out at the point, and it's like, how'd you guys do? I think they swap fish, but they say they're just talking about information. But either way, yeah, that's my solution. Thoughts?
I really can't say what's right or wrong anymore, because I watch it quite a bit. I watch it just out of curiosity anymore.
All 4 minutes of it before we change channel?
And the sad part of it is, I think back over the 30 plus years that I did it, and I was in on it, and how good it really was, and how everybody watched. Everybody, when you walked in the grocery store, said, "Oh, I seen you on TV last week." And now that never happens. You never have anybody come up and say, "Oh, I watched Bassmasters last week," or
Right.
"Oh, I watched the MLF on TV last week." Or even now, Menzo, MLF's trying to do away with everything but live,
Right.
and on the internet and stuff like that. You never hear anybody walk up and say, "Oh, well, I watched this tournament on TV," or "I watched this tournament on the internet," because you can't watch them.
Right.
MLF, every Saturday morning, I do dialysis Saturday mornings, and so you got a TV that you watch for 3 or 4 hours, and MLF is on. And their solution was to only have it for like one period out of the 3 periods of the day. You can use live scope.
Right. Dumb.
And I watch it when they're fishing regular, and as soon as the live scope period comes on, I have to turn the TV off.
Mm-hmm.
I end up watching Andy Griffith or something, because it's way more entertaining. It's terrible.
I bet you $100 you could take your top BSS fans, put all the pros at the urinal when they're going pee, and you bring the fans in, and they'll be able to identify who the anglers are, because that's all they see is the back of their head when they're live scoping. They're like,
that's probably
that's
true.
This guy, that's that guy, that's that guy. That guy's a mole in the back of his head.
That's true.
You would know, because the same look.
It's unfortunate, like I say, and they can say what they want. They can say how awesome it is, and how it's revolutionized the sport and everything. No, it hasn't. It's ruined crappie fishing completely. Crappie fishing will be no longer. Okay.
Recreational
It's going to recreational.
Yeah.
That's fine. It's going to ruin all of the smallmouth fishing in the north. And when I say ruin it, people aren't going to do it. They're not going to go up there and fish tournaments. I used to take and fish the northern division in the EverStart series, because I wanted to go catch smallmouth. If I was going to do something with my sons during the summer, when my sons were too young to fish, I would go to those northern EverStarts, because you could go catch smallmouth. And they can't fill bass tournaments up there now, because people do not want to fish and have a guy standing in front of the boat using live scope. The guys in the back of the boat won't fish.
Gotcha.
So, wait a minute. Is it hurting things? Oh, is it a better way to do it? Yeah, it might be a better way to do it. It's not a better way for everybody to watch it. And let's face it, if the fans can't watch it, why do it?
That's right.
Do you watch football? Everybody watches football, because you get to see people get mangled up every now and then. We can all say what we want, but until somebody tears a leg off or something, it's not that interesting.
That's all rigged too.
Or you wait till the crash happens in the race.
Okay, so all the viewers have done logged off, because that's how boring the conversation really is.
That's right, it is.
So,
you started it though.
Well, we're gonna get to that here in just a second. I had a really cool idea for we guys out here because we have a great turnout tonight. Thank you, but I'm gonna schedule us a road trip, and if you want to be on part of the real unfiltered road journey, I've got this deal in my head. So, does everybody know what a skipjack is? You ever heard of that?
I do.
You heard of it, haven't you? Yep. Have you? All right. So skipjack is a bait fish.
Is this going to be like a tournament where all this
No.
road show?
We're going to go harvest.
Oh, okay.
And we're going to take us a little road trip. We'll take the big bus and we'll
go. I know where to go.
That's okay. So he's got the spot. But here's the deal.
I do have the spot. Yeah.
I was doing the math on this. Okay. I did my due diligence research, because I am a business owner of a tackle store, and we do sell bait. Skipjack is like wholesale, like, what is it, $5-6 a piece now?
Yeah.
$6 for a skipjack, which we sell for like 3 of them for like $14.99, which is redonkulously stupid. However, in Arkansas and Tennessee, each individual is allowed 100 per day, 200 in possession. So if I get 6 real unfiltered guys and we go down Mississippi River, find the end of a jetty, get us some sabiki rigs. We could bring back 1,000. I'm good for like
Where-
3 years.
Where I was talking about going,
And all the beer you can drink.
I think it's
Travis is going to drive.
it's a 5-gallon
That's great.
5-gallon bucket a day.
So I think it was
Each person can have
Tennessee and
5-gallon
Arkansas is 100 per day, 200 possession. Missouri, I'm not sure. So we'll just have to go over the border. But that's
So we
200
can come back with 200 apiece.
5 guys.
That's a lot of
That's a
catfish.
But you could sell, and I was doing the math on it. If you take 5 guys in a motorhome to sleep 6, and you take $20 steaks and baked potatoes and all the beer you can drink, we're still way, way ahead of paying $5 a piece for a fish.
Let
We
alone
catch
if-
like 50 of them, we get our money back, and we all eat and drink like pigs. And then our poor fishing public makes all the money and the rest of it because it's free. We can be cheaper than anybody else.
I'm game.
See?
Anything
I
that
know
can.
Ron and Rod's in.
You're gonna
Ed's
have
on
to.
the waiting list. He's on will call.
You're gonna have to check out. You're gonna have to check out the rules though. Transporting them and stuff like that
Yeah, we'll get
over
to that.
state lines and stuff like
Hey.
that. I'd hate to see him confiscate our bus.
We I know a guy that hauled 900 crappie way too far once.
Oh.
The people that I heard
We what?
was the people that I thought we knew were hauling all these fish were welcomed by the Department of Conservation as well in that particular state.
I don't like them in any state.
Fortunately, we worked out a deal, so we didn't go to jail. So it was those people.
Worked out a deal.
Yeah, it was
Give
all
them a
good.
mess of crappie and you're free.
That's right.
That's
That's
right.
right. So
How big's your cooler in your car? That's right.
something along that line.
That's kind of like
That's
the
kind of
deal
like the
is,
deal
yeah.
was.
That's
But
all right.
that's totally a fabricated story. There's
I
no
wouldn't
truth in that
graduate high-
whatsoever.
I wouldn't have graduated high school if it hadn't been for crappie.
That's right. So anyway, so last week we got to talk. We had a really good time talking about Mr. Bryant's woes and goes. It made you feel better about fishing
No,
because
it
his
made me
experiences were so bad. It made you sad,
it
actually.
made me ashamed to be a professional bass angler. I can't
Oh.
believe anybody get treated that
they
bad.
weren't. Hey, they
Yeah,
weren't
when you
pros. You
mistreat
silly
their
Billy.
core when you mistreat your core,
we should have fished the same tournaments because I would have loved to have drawn you.
Jesus. So yeah, you can't make
'Cause I
up stories
coulda-
like that.
I
could've-
don't want to talk about it anymore.
I could have treated you bad
Just
for
stop-
me
stop
and
it.
still been 100% better than what you got treated.
Right. So let's move on into part 2 tonight.
All right.
We're
I'm
done
ready.
with that chapter. So we did the pro thing. He did the co-angler thing. Didn't quite pan out. Not everybody can be a big goatee Buddha-looking world champion, but only one that I know of. But
I'm a super nice guy to everybody but the game wardens.
yeah. So this one branched off and decided to go into antique lures instead. How did that start?
many, many years ago, when you were just a whisper in my mind.
Spending your college fund.
Yep.
Yeah.
Well, there's.
Might have been spending your diaper money.
No.
I could have been.
It could have been.
Now, mind
My-
you,
My mom would buy me tackle when I was a kid. I was weird because I wasn't into sports, so she'd buy me tackle, and I actually was able to keep my first Johnson reel and box from 1955, and I've got some old lures that I've still got, and it made me wonder about it over the years. But then you get married, you have children, you can't do what you want to do, but then you get lucky and you make a little money, and you can start becoming a lure guy,
yeah.
which leads me into there's 3 different kinds of lure guys.
No, you can't go there yet. I'm not done asking questions.
Okay.
You're still at the infancy of this whole thing.
All right.
So you grew up outside of Independence, Missouri, up by Kansas City.
Yep.
So really, there weren't a lot of waterways around there, but it's mostly pay lakes that you got to grow
It
up
was.
around, right?
Yep.
Which is something that a lot of people don't even know what that is today. So, basically a pay lake is you go and pay and fish. Guaranteed catch, right?
No, some of them were.
But you had to keep what you caught,
the
right?
bullhead lakes were keep what you catch and pay by the pound. But then they had some carp lakes that was, you could just go up there and fun fish. And that's where I was introduced to tournaments, because they would have carp tournaments on Saturday in the pay lakes. So you'd go pay your entry, and then whoever caught the biggest carp that day won something.
Did you ever win?
I did.
Nice.
I did.
You're gonna
My-
give up your secret formula for bait tonight?
No.
No, he has
Oh,
a
no.
he has a secret formula for carp bait.
And it's good.
And
It's
like
a
anybody,
good carp
I
bait.
will say this: like anybody else who gets into serious carp fishing, yes, there is marshmallows in it. Okay, that's all I can give
Yeah.
it up. So anyway,
Yeah.
and we
But-
germ.
The favorite one that I won, I caught
Some
I
people
can
use other
remember,
things,
I
but
caught
yeah.
a 55-pound carp,
Holy crap!
and I won a
Holy carp.
Johnson
You spelled it
rod
wrong.
and reel, and the Johnson was a Boss Hoss. Boss Hoss.
That's a Zebco.
That's a Zebco.
Yep.
And you have to understand they made those with no drag, and they were direct drive. Perfect for them big old fish. I still have that reel. So as we went along,
Did you know
was
that?
how I, and
What's
then,
that?
Closed face Zebco with no drag?
yeah.
Wouldn't that whip the end of your fingers off when he made a run?
No.
What?
Does it?
No, it didn't turn
Didn't
backwards.
backwards
Oh, it
either.
didn't turn backward.
No.
Oh.
No, see, the
No,
rest
they-
of us, we know how to like.
They come spool with 20
We
pound
don't back our
test, but
drag up, you big.
like
wuss.
anything else, we
Bass fisherman.
messed with them. We adjusted and did stuff. So
You push the
Anyway.
button, let them run till they're tired.
Yeah.
Then you wait till they swallow it all the way down the gullet, then you lay into them until they're dead, and then you
That's
bring
right.
them back.
yeah,
That
that's
works
what
too.
we did. We didn't care, So anyway,
Haven't you ever heard that story?
Yeah.
Catfishing.
No.
You know, if you're harvesting one, if you're not catch and release, there's, and those that don't catfish, and correct me if I'm wrong, but they'll hit it. Most time they'll hit it, and they'll take it, and just like anything else, they'll run. If you let them run until they stop, swallow it. Then game on. Then you go ahead and set it then. But it's a long wait. Sometimes they get under all that debris and stuff. But yeah,
I don't have that kind of patience.
you're a bass fisherman,
Not for a bass fisherman. Trust me.
poacher.
yeah.
But anyway,
So along with that, I was older when I caught that big old fish, but my actual fishing started when Dad decided to buy some property here at the Lake of the Ozarks in 1955. And I was 5 years old, so you can all do the math now and know how old I really am.
which is right around the corner where you still live today.
It's right around the corner from where I live today.
The house is still there too, right?
Yep.
They haven't tore it down yet.
Nope. They have remodeled it, and it looks really nice.
Yeah.
But there was actually two houses. So I learned how to fish. I learned how to tournament fish. I learned how to do pretty much everything lake-ish right here at the Lake of the Ozarks.
So I've never asked you this. You don't have to answer this, but Grandpa sold that lake house to the last people that were there. Weren't their last names King?
No, it was Scott.
Scott. Never mind. All right. Thought it was King, and then I was thinking about the organized crime family in Kansas City. It was called the Kings, and I was like,
that was your
that was my
great-grandfather
other side. Yeah.
on the other side.
Who was
of
a
the
driver
family.
for the King family who had the shotgun pockets in his trench coat. That guy. Okay,
Yeah.
never mind. Proceed.
There you go.
Got it. Not that there's any organized crime in our family. No, go ahead.
So anyway, that's how it all started. And then as I grew older and was able to get a little bit more money, I was able to start buying things, and I accumulated lots of lures, lots of fishing lures, and that's what leads me into, I don't know, you can talk a lot about lure collecting, old fishing lures and stuff, but I thought I might bring something to the table tonight that interested everybody here and go clear to the other side instead of all the old crap that you can talk about and
You
everything.
got the lure with the boobs on it?
I got the lure with the boobs on
Nice.
it. I've
No,
got,
tonight? You said it was
I-
going to interest
I
everyone.
got the little guy that you pull him down, and his little pee sticks out.
little barrel. Yeah.
Little barrel fish lure. And
Really racist stuff.
And not to be pretentious or bragging, but I've got 15,000 collectible lures if I've got one. So I've got a lot of them.
You are in the
And-
National Lure Collectors Club, and then there's a real club called Orca, I believe.
Yep,
Are you a member of that?
I am.
Okay. So,
I am.
um,
And I love those clubs. They're full of information. If anybody ever wanted to do anything, the NFLCC, which is the Lure Club, doesn't cost much to belong to it. They have printed material, but the new online presence now, you can find a lot of information on there about your lures, about patents and stuff like that.
we were having a conversation the other day at the store on the tackle store side, and Dad came up to me. He said, "You know what?" He said, "I'm not really big on this whole AI thing." He's like, "But," he said, "I got my Orca Reel letter," and he said they were talking about exposure, and I'm going to use roundabout numbers, but more people are going online to look for schematics for reels, looking for history on old reels. And he said the impressions you get, like how many times you get hit, they search those. Orca said like it's upward like 6 to 8 million.
43 million
40
hits.
yeah, 43 million hits for schematics on antique reels, which that information is instantaneous with AI now. Where it used to be you pick up the phone and you had to hurry up and call like old Bob Smith because he collected reels for like 90 years. He was the only one that knew where the gears were located and how they built them, so you had to call him before he died. And now they scan everything and put it on the internet, and they don't care about Bob anymore because they can get it.
Yeah. Now that's AI hits. That's
Right.
not somebody. That's AI searching their websites and stuff for all their schematics, which
Poor Bob.
it puts it out there. So there's a lot more information because back in the day when we would hear about somebody that had an old tackle box full of old lures, we would jump in the car and drive 100 miles with money in our pocket because you couldn't take pictures, and the guy'd say, "Oh yeah," you call him up, "I got a box of old lures, but I don't know what they are." We just go take out and go. That was how we spent time.
Now, to give everybody, if you've never thought to yourself, why in the world would anybody collect a fishing lure? It's like it's kind of dumb. I mean, it's teach their own, right? I kind of want to put it in perspective to baseball cards. If you've never bought a lure, maybe you have an old box at home, and it's like, hey, I've got this stuff from like my grandpa used it from the 1900s, and it's like super cool, and I think it's worth $100,000. It's probably not, and here's the reason why. It could be, yeah. If you have a Haskell minnow, which you can look that up, Haskell minnow, first lure ever created by a jeweler, and see, Dad's pretty good on researching, but guess who does most of the research when it gets down to it earlier? This guy. So but he knows a lot. The Haskell minnow was made by a jeweler in New York before lures were ever made. And if we want to take the back to the value of lures, lures are like baseball cards, and everybody knows about baseball cards. It's about the year they were made, the condition of the card, if the corners are bent, if it was a special edition, if it was a misprint, all those things are all relevant in the fishing lure community even to today, because never fails, and this will relate to Dion. You'll get, plastic lures which are worthless to the collector unless it's maybe I don't know, what would a rubber worm? Is there a valuable rubber worm?
No, there's no soft rubber baits that are worth a crap.
Right. However, a bass fisherman will buy, like, let's say, Zoom green pumpkin worms. Or I'll give you a really good example. This was really popular back in the probably 80s and 90s when Berkeley power worms came out in 100 packs. Everybody bought 100 packs, but you go to where we had a local store down 20 miles down the road. They specialized in bulk plastics. It was an old liquor store. What was the name of that place? Over by where the amphitheater is now.
Oh.
What was that? Gosh dang. Van Hooks.
Van Hooks,
Yeah, Van
yeah.
Hooks had a tackle store, and they always had like hundreds of bags of 100-count power worms. And the astute angler would go in there, and they would look the way if they were shot just right. If they had like a red shad. If the two halves were poured nice, or if they were like marbly, and you kind of handpick the lure that was best for you. Not so much in hard baits, but hard baits, all about condition. You want to identify some things you look for when you're looking for a valuable lure or conditions?
Oh, now it is it in the box? Is it sealed? Is it unsealed? Does it have marks on it? And
Thanks,
it
Jared. Yeah,
takes-
Van Hooks.
takes a what?
I'm answering. And hey, Doc Paul, you can say hi too, even though you're not here. Go ahead.
Sorry about your dog, Doc Paul.
All right, move on.
Anyway, yeah, the condition of lure, and the NFLCC, the Lure Club, has a way of grading them. It's 1 to 10, 10 being the best, which is new in the box, NIB. So, but without getting into a lot of stuff, it's unending. There's so many different ways you can collect and chase them down. You can chase an individual lure within a company. You can do numerous things, but I'm going to start by saying that you become an accumulator. You accumulate your lures unless you just start out with a mission. And then that makes you a collector when you have a mission. Then there's the guys that are dealers. They buy up fishing lures only for one thing, to resell and make money on. Those guys all tend to try to work together within the collecting group. But then there's guys like Dion. And Dion is a user. And
Respectfully, and I always go with this.
Respectfully.
You have to let, you don't have
He's
to
a
laugh yet.
user. Dion takes after his dad, who, and I'm not going to say what he would say, but as long as it caught fish, give me the frickin' thing, and I'm going to throw it. I don't care if it's worth $1,000. And so
Sometimes those were better.
That's right.
yeah,
If it was an old antique lure and it caught fish really good and somebody went out and caught it, by God, if you had it, it's going to disappear, right?
That's right.
Yeah. See,
Like the chug bug. That's
No,
a head, right?
Head and chugger. That was one of Guido's favorite lures.
True or false?
That's true.
All right.
That's
We're
true.
just keeping our story straight.
That particular one right there in the perch color, we were at Lake Sinclair and actually it's
Yeah.
that color.
Yeah,
That one.
This same. That's same. This is a true chugger. This is a tiny chugger. See that?
I think so.
Okay.
We
Nah, we're good.
Nah, we're good. That just gives
And just a
everybody
reminder,
an idea.
right in
They're
front of Ed,
different
there's
size.
an email that says askrealtalk@gmail.com. You can send those emails anytime. If you got a lure, send us a picture. We'll identify. We'll tell you what they're worth. If it's something we need, it's going to be worthless, and we'll buy it from you. So
Yeah.
just so you know.
Yeah. This perch color
We're
is
10
one of
cents
the
on the
most
dollar.
common
Good
colors,
buyers.
but it's one of the best fishing colors, which is why your
That's
dad
right.
loved that perch color. You know, are these valuable? They used to not be, but now, because Heddon doesn't make them anymore, you can't hardly find them, and they will range from 10 to 100, depending
Based on
the
color
lure.
and condition.
Based on color and
Yep.
condition. So,
And material.
and material.
We can get into, we could have this like 7-day discussion about plastic versus Bakelite versus rubber versus,
yeah.
and I think it was,
We have to remember, though, that plastic lures have been made for over 100 years now.
correct.
So wooden lures, everybody thinks, oh, wooden lures, and it's got glass eyes and stuff. Nah. If you can find a good old plastic one that hasn't deteriorated, then you got something. And
Wasn't Bakelite made during the World War
yes,
II?
Yeah.
Because when there was steel shortages and everything else, they still had plastic. Also used a material called Bakelite.
It was the first
and made lures.
composite.
So to an astute collector, sometimes you'll see a lure that's like caved in and like shrunk. Looks like a shrinky dink. If anybody remembers those days, if you're 50 and older like me, some of those lures look like shrinky dinks. They're
Yeah.
really not degraded in value because that's just nature took its course, but it's still pristine and considering. So you kind of got to know your composites. We can get into the whole wiggle wart
Yeah.
thing.
Yeah, well, that's what I was going to ask. How much time have we got?
Well, I mean, it's our show. We can do whatever the hell we want, right?
Right. Okay.
Until we
Well-
get bored with it. It's like, hey, time she's up.
Well, that's why
You know?
rather
Show's
than get
getting
into
boring.
the old boring collecting thing, I wanted to go to the other end of the gamut and talk about the cult that
Sure.
has formed.
Okay, so let's wrap up the old stuff really quick.
Okay.
So, to be a really good collector, you need to finish a collection. Baseball cards, you get the whole team. You get the whole set, you get all the teams, and you're doing something. So in antique lures, if you can find the box, every available color, and every size, you have a complete collection, which is really cool. But the early 1800s to probably 1950, it's getting harder and harder. If you don't have a complete set, you're probably not going to find it anymore because with the world of eBay and the information that's out there, lures are being found that have never been found before. And to find that stuff to complete a collection is really tough. So the astute collectors now moved into the 80s. Now with the 80s comes the big cult now, and it has been out there for about 20 years, of the Storm Wigglewort.
Yeah.
And that's probably the most sought after lure right now that's out there, I would say, versus,
Yeah.
can you think of one that more people are looking for?
It's
Other than like old mega bass or like really rare colors, things like that. But the original Wigglewort to a bass guy, we're talking about something.
yeah. There is truly a cult that has formed for the guys that fish them and the guys that collect them. The color collector guys are totally different than the fishermen because the fishermen are users.
yes.
Right.
The collectors are collecting the ones that are still sealed, got the little seal on the box, and everything is good. So, with that, I want to try to give you a little history.
And just so you know, there are storm collectors out there that would know way more than all of us combined.
Oh yeah, Absolutely.
So this is very general information. So we don't
So-
need like a bunch of emails telling
Yeah.
we're stupid and we're wrong, because we understand there's 5 million variations and different stuff, but kind of just a basic overview of the wigglewort so you guys understand. Did you bring a wigglewort?
I did, but I got a question.
Okay.
And I'm going to give somebody, if they can answer this question here in the crowd, I'm going to give them a wigglewort.
Well, it counts online too.
Well, if they can answer it fast
Yeah.
enough, the
Well,
right
they're always
answer.
like they're 30 seconds behind, so everybody's got a head start.
It's
Here, so
it's
all
pretty
good.
simple. When was the wigglewort introduced, and who designed it?
Ooh. I don't even know that.
When was the wigglewort
You know who made the
introduced?
wigglewort?
And
I
when,
know-
And when was it introduced?
I know it was made in
And
Oklahoma.
who made it?
Correct?
Yes.
First produced in Oklahoma. Man, you know that one, Dion?
Nope.
Nobody out there? No phones.
It was
Come
on none of
on.
the. It was on none of the old packages I tore out and threw in the bottom of the boat.
How about Ed Chambers?
No,
No.
let's zoom.
Well, it said Ed Chambers, Mutt, P60 Pop, R, Warts, etc. Nope, you're wrong, Jerry.
Nope, Oklahoma. It
I don't
was in
know.
Oklahoma. I do know that.
Did you look it up? Well, what'd you say? Johnny Storm.
All
That's
right.
a-
Well, I'm
that's
gonna
a porn
simplify
actor.
it. Well, let's simplify it.
You guys watch too much
year?
porn.
What year was the wigglewort introduced? No.
It was earlier than that.
It's earlier than that, which is amazing.
76.
No.
Short a decade, I think.
I'm going to
50s?
give this wigglewort. Somebody can just say
in the
1974.
No, I said up a decade.
Oh,
There you
There
go.
you go.
Ronnie
Yeah.
Sisk, 1974
No.
was the.
This wigglewort was patented and introduced in May of 1974
By Storm Brothers.
by the Storm Brothers.
So it's close. But his name wasn't
So it
Johnny
could have been
Storm.
Johnny.
And the Storm Company then evolved
Oh.
from that.
is
The
it that,
Oh, you're looking. I got
that
it.
one? Because I
No.
still fish with those.
No, that's a actual Storm.
Oh.
All right, Jared,
Newer.
email. I'm having two conversations having online too. Yeah, Jared, email me later, and I will find you some of that stuff. If you want an entire 600-700 piece work collection, Ed a call. Yeah, we'll sell you the whole damn thing. So yeah, we got you.
Yeah.
We'll show some pictures later.
I
Yeah, I
got
think
some.
with P60 Pop R's, remember those? Yeah, he's
Yep.
looking for those too. They're already on the want list online. It's like, hey, Mr. Collector.
Yeah. Yeah.
Of course, accumulator, and you missed the fourth category. You've got the accumulator, you've got the collector, you've got those that are called the hoarder, and they go to buy a lure and come back with a truckload of crap, and it's like, but I needed this Briggs and Stratton outboard motor from 1956 that never ran, and
Yeah.
4 lures, and a deer mount, and here's some
We're getting away from my Storm story.
here's a clip-on anchor that I thought was pretty cool, and some bumpers, and an old seat cushion that you're sitting on. Proceed. Sorry.
The most sought after wigglewort was produced from 1975 to 1999, and they call it pre-Rapala.
Or to you young kids out there, the OG.
Yeah, the OG.
That's an
So-
OG right there.
Yeah, and the
Whatever.
old ones, were made different because they had an old mold, and they just kept using the same old mold, and the lines in the back wouldn't line up, and the colors were different. But the thing about them was that, and you can hear that,
They have rattles.
the newer one rattles louder and sharper, and the old one has a lead thud noise to it. And the old one, because they were imperfect, hunted. Now that's the biggest term that they use for the fishermen, my users.
Right.
They go down and all of a sudden they go, whoosh, they dart off, and they go, shoo, and they dart back.
Let me dumb it down just really quick, if you don't mind.
Dumb it.
Yeah, I'll dumb it down. So back in the day, you have a 2-piece mold. You take these 2 molds, and they pour these molds, and they glue them together, make 2 halves of a lure. And they drop the rattles in by hand, glue them together, and paint them. And that's what they did in Oklahoma for years and years and years. And over time, machines wear out and molds wear out, but they never got a new one. So the mold got worn, and it shifted a little bit. So what happened is, when you reel a lure down, and Dion will attest to this, a wiggle wart was designed to run 3 to 5 feet deep. Correct? You're not even listening.
Yeah, we're listening.
Wiggle wart. You bang the rocks with it.
Yep.
That's what it was designed to do. But they would snag. But as these lures got older, they became more irregular how they dug or hunted, as you used.
Yeah.
So when you were down there bouncing around the rocks, it would dart off way to the left or way off to the right because it was irregularly made, which the fishermen loved because they never got snagged. So if you went into a log, it would like come off the side and you get that reactionary strike. Or if you got hung into the rocks, you just let go and it would back itself up. It was kind of cool. So as we go into it further, it got worn out. Storm kept going, and it just kind of lost its fizz. So the moment came when you used to have those tackle stores that buy out all the other tackle stores. And a tackle company came and bought out Storm, correct?
Right.
Which would be?
Rapala. And that's why.
What was the year of that one?
That was 1999.
So in 1999, Rapala buys out Storm. And the engineers look at it and they go, well, this is a wore-out piece of crap. This won't work. Let's take our engineers and make this thing awesome again. So they reconfigured the Storm. Did you bring one of those by chance?
Yeah.
You got
No,
those?
I don't have the inserted lip.
Who would know to go get one?
No one. They're in.
I'm going to go
the
get
boxes.
one. So Storm, their engineers, they come out and they go, let's take this mold. Let's take the bill where the old wiggle wart was all one molded piece. Let's make it two-piece body. We're going to insert the bill in the end, inserted, to where it runs perfectly true, perfectly straight. We're going to make the rattles louder, and we're going to make it awesome. And it was the most technologically advanced crankbait you've ever seen. And the bass guys go, hell yes.
And a hanging son of a gun.
That's right. They were like, this is thinking awesome. They stick it reel at the end, and then go down through the water like, hell yeah. They throw it up on the bank, kick the rocks, and it go and hang, and they break it off. And after about 6 months of it, they went, screw this. Now. They sold them for 2 years.
2 years.
2 years. And went, whoops. Now, let's all rewind back the old clock. Does everybody remember Coca-Cola? And Coca-Cola had sold Coke, man. They sold it from cocaine. They used cane sugar. All that stuff is all great, and everything was jolly. And in the late 80s, they went, wait a minute. Let's make a new Coke. And everybody went, eh. And you know what they brought back? The original Coke. I think it's called Coke Classic now. Still to this day, Coke Classic. We screwed up, folks. They didn't use Dylan Mulvaney to do it. They just were stupid all by themselves. So they brought back Coke. So Rapala went, whoops. And after 2 years, they went back to the original wiggle wart, which is not as good,
no,
but close.
It's a great lure. Now, something you can take away with.
You're over there zoning in there? Disagree?
Something.
No, not at all.
Yeah.
It's
Something
not,
you can
it's not
take
as
away
good,
with.
but it's close.
The Rapala ones were just junk for a long time.
Yeah.
Right.
Yeah.
Yeah.
The very first wiggle warts, clear up to 1999, so you can tell the old one from a new one, was stamped right here on the bill. Right in the very middle. It says wiggle wart right on it.
Wiggle wart. All spelled out.
Wiggle
One word.
wart.
Bold
Now,
text.
some of the misstamps would be back here on the belly. You might find them back there. Or some of them might have rolled up on the edge. Collectors love them.
Some of
because
them were
they're
suspended.
flawed. And some said wiggle wart suspending on them. You could always tell them. The new wiggle wart.
That's it.
Nope.
It
says storm on it.
Storm.
You can always tell it's a brand new one. It says storm on it.
Do you know that,
So-
Leon?
That's the
No, you
most
didn't.
important
I did know
thing.
that.
If you go to a garage sale and you find an old tackle box, man, there's some wiggle warts in it. You roll them babies up, they say storm on them. They're $3 lures. But you roll up one of them guys, it could be $100 lure or more, even out of the box.
Or $8.50.
Or $8.50 because they'll buy them, give $10 for them just to repaint them.
Which goes to the user story. Let's down here to the whore.
That's right.
Though I didn't say that out loud, did I? I didn't mean
Oh,
it.
that's fine.
So
I know my lane.
tell me why. There were recessed bills, and there were different kinds of. Through the years, they made where the line ties were different also, and we can get into a whole big story about that. But bass guys, the original wiggle warts pre Rapala, which they say, bass guys like the clear bill better than the painted bill. And they had two different kinds of bills, right?
Yep.
Can you tell me why, Dion, they would prefer a clear bill over a painted bill?
I just think they look better. They look. I mean,
Yeah.
I don't like
See,
that
this
painted bill.
This is them.
Well,
Painted bill versus clear.
the story I always heard was two things. Number one, if you found one that was beat to crap, you could paint the body and the clear bill was still fine because you're banging rocks. But because you're banging rocks, you're not banging all the paint off. So a clear bill was a little bit better to fish with. Plus, the bill you don't see as much, so you just have the body of the bait that's above the banging. I don't know.
Yeah.
I thought you might have some great insight
No,
on that.
I don't. I
You didn't
really
really
don't.
care. You just, as long as it's a crawdad color
Well,
or black and blue.
Yeah.
No,
I didn't bring one, but I wanted to add
And
also.
you don't even throw wiggle wart, probably.
Oh, yeah,
yes,
I
he
do.
does.
How many you got?
He
I
has
would steal. There's two over there in that case that I would steal from you guys. Some who I truly consider to be my best friends. I'd take them in a blink. If you turn your back, they're gone.
But you haven't, and I turn my back on you all the time. on
I
those.
haven't, but
He's
I
got
have
a half a
sure
dozen
thought
laying
about
on the
them.
dash of his car or truck, and then his boat where he keeps
Why
all of his
give them
tackle.
to you?
They're
There's
just
a
piled up there.
there's a perch finish kind of with a brown back that oh my god, it's
That's a boring one.
well, it might be boring, but it'll
Oh,
catch the hell out
No,
of
I
it.
got more than
Speaking
one.
of perch,
Oh, I don't know.
change the whole subject. I went to China again.
Found some for 50 cents.
No, I found some jerk baits there in the old Smithwick laser perch.
Oh, there
Remember
you
that
go.
color?
Yeah.
That green with the goldy. Oh man, they're. And they know they were not 50 cents. They were $4.50.
Just stop it.
Super awesome. And I'll be glad to.
Here,
Shameless plug.
I want to tell another story.
$4.50 jerk baits. I'll sell for $6. Make $1.50 on you. But it's a good deal. Go ahead.
Very first wiggle warts. This is the same one with the name on the bottom. They originally came with a recessed split ring. The split ring set inside of the bill. Now, the reason for that was they thought that it would give the ring room to move, so it would help it hunt more. But that wasn't what was making it help hunt more. It was just the lure was hunting more. The amazing thing about that was after a couple of years, they quit doing it and just made it a smooth bill. Rapala, when they bought Storm, came out with a shad wrap. And guess what the shad wrap's got on it?
A wiggle wart stamp.
It's got a recessed bill. They recessed it, and they used it for quite a long time. Did you see that, Dion? See how they
Yep.
did that? They recessed that
That's
bill.
called it down deep.
Yep, that's called the down deep. They don't make it anymore, but
Hold on.
it would really go.
I'm gonna tell you why they don't make it much anymore.
It was a
'Cause it-
hanging up son of a bitch.
It was kind of a piece of shit.
It's pretty lure though.
It kind of got it's almost got a shad wrap wiggle for a big build bait. So,
Mm-hmm.
but it was never popular.
So let me kind of bring it in a little bit and kind of educate everybody a little bit. For those that have had sisters, younger or older, I want to talk about Barbie dolls for a minute because this puts it all in perspective. There are a lot of women out there that collect a lot of Barbie dolls, and they've got these beautiful Barbies in their boxes, and they're really cool, and they're limited edition, and all that stuff, and they're not watching the show, so I really don't care what they think. They're not quite as worth as much because they made 10,000 of them, and they're all brand new in the box. But it's the skipper doll that I tore the head off and buried in the yard because I hated my sister, and I would put their heads in a row and mow them with a lawnmower. Those are the ones you can't find anymore, the ones that bring the money. So if you find...
So do you feel bad about yourself?
Never.
Okay.
No, that's a whole other story about... So
You were really pissed.
No, let's just go down this road really quick, and then I'm going to go back to the lures. Back in the day in Sedalia where we grew up, Consumers was a grocery store, and the coolest thing ever was when Mom and Dad would give us birthday cakes, and you go back to the bakery section, and you remember those? They had it was like the giant sugar-coated like things you could put on the top. It'd be like race cars or whatever, and they were like made out of pure sugar, and it'd be like theme stuff. Well, my sister one year for her birthday got a Barbie one, and it was like the princess, all this cool stuff, And she thought it was so awesome, she was going to save it. So she cleaned it all up, put it in a bag, and put it in the freezer. And that night, I ate it. Because that's what younger brothers do, right? And it pissed her off at 13 like you've never believed, for reasons I don't know why. So the following year, I got on mine a purple dragster. And it was plastic, and it was functional. It was cool. And outside of our house, we had 2 retaining walls. And my dad made them out of blocks. So the blocks went all the way up, and you could see all the way down to the bottom. It was like 6 feet. And she took that drag car and dropped it down there the day after my birthday in retribution to
Barbie,
me eating her sugar-induced birthday cake. So from that day on, if I had her Barbie dolls, I would paint nipples on her boobs and hang them from the trees and shoot them with my BB gun and bury them in the yard and run over with the lawnmower. Because that's what shitty younger brothers do.
Wow.
And I was proud of it. So
I'm starting to understand the Ricky deal now.
if you go out, so to make full circle, if you find a whole batch of pristine, awesome lures that you haven't seen in like 20 years, there's probably 2 things you need to consider. Number 1, that lure sucked, and nobody used it, and that's why there's so many of them out there, and they're not worth that much. But it's the lure that worked really, really good that nobody can find is the one that has the value. So an example would be like the inserted bill on a Rapala wigglewort. They only made 2 years. Yes, they're going up in value now because they're limited run, but all of them are pristine. You know, because if you used it, it's in a tree in a lake somewhere right now, hung up, or in a rock. The rest of them stayed in the box in their lures, so that's why you find all of them. They're like great shape. Am I wrong there?
No, you're right. And
There are other lures out there that are like that, like what are those rubber poppers? Remember those? Burke lures.
Burke lures.
Yeah, there's an old
Soft
60s
foam
company.
rubber ones.
They made like soft rubber poppers. They sucked, but you can find them in, you know. And the reason I say that is I'm very fortunate that my dad has a internal pawn shop inside our tackle store. Sometimes I don't like it so much, but guys are always like dragging in. It's like, Ed, I got a box to sell. I'm like, Jesus, I mean, every day, you know, we're losing money. But he's paying out of his own pocket, but that's fine. But we've got like 150 tackle boxes worth of crap back there because he picks out the one good one, the rest of them go to the back. So you learn, you know, it's like all this stuff is no good. We probably have, if you guys are into spoons, if you guys like spoon fishing, like Johnson spoons or any kind of jigging spoon, I think we've got 250,000 of them in scrap in the back because they have no value and they're everywhere. With the exception of, in our research, you remember, is it a Johnson spoon? Not Johnson spoon.
No, Eppinger.
Eppinger. So an Eppinger spoon was called a Red Devil. And if you guys remember that, if anybody that's fished around and had their dad in a box, they had a Red Devil spoon in it. They had diamonds on them, all kinds of shapes. But there was a picture of a devil on it. They screen printed a black devil on it. But during World War I and World War II, one time they stamped Mussolini and Hitler on them. And if you can find a spoon that has those on it, it's kind of like finding that really rare wheat penny that's like going to make you rich. So those spoons will make you rich.
Huh.
I don't even know what the value is on them. We just know they exist.
I have never, ever seen one.
I've never seen a picture of one.
Never
We know they
seen one
exist.
offered for sale, but I know they're out there.
So that's kind of like the 50-foot shark. We know they're out there. We've never seen one.
Yeah.
Or a ghost.
Yeah, and that being said, if you also go out and you run into a box of stuff, and who knows what those are, here's a quiz for you. Lazy Ike.
A J6.
This is a J7.
Damn.
Anyway, Lazy Ike's. Lazy Ike is the most manufactured lure ever. Ever. They have made 17 million of these.
They're still in production too,
and
right?
They're still in production.
And
it's
lots
still
of
a good fishing lure. Don't get excited when you find that box and got these in it. Consider them worthless, except to fish with.
However,
if a guy wanted to start collecting something, I would start collecting these, because you could start your displays and get all the different colors. They make about 85 different frickin' sizes. Oh, they make them with metal and stuff. But someday they might be worth, but it'd be fun to try to collect them all. And there's a lot of information out there about all the colors and stuff. But that's what I'm saying. Don't get excited about these hula poppers, jitterbugs. They made millions of them,
And still do today.
but there's
And it's hard to tell them apart.
there's some jitterbugs. The old wooden ones, they made them early on. They were wood. They're valuable. And during the war, when the metal was short, some jitterbugs were made with plastic bills, the little white bill. So those have some value too.
And they were red
Not
or
a
black,
lot.
I believe.
Huh?
Red or black. I think they were in
Yeah.
red color or black color.
Yeah,
Do you know
I-
that, Dion?
No.
Yeah.
Plastic.
All right.
What's your favorite?
Plastic.
What's your favorite old lure that you would molest somebody to fish with?
Me?
Yeah.
Pico Pop.
All right. Fair enough.
An old one.
Yeah.
They
Foil,
used- they
foil
used-
color.
They used to make some that had a foil on the inside,
Right.
inside the plastic. Yeah, I would.
So your best hard bait would be a popper.
I would. I would.
I don't know.
I would trade one of my grandsons for the right one.
Seriously. See, your old man kind of screwed me on that because he made a point to me one time that I will never forget. He's
Now, not
like,
one of my favorite grandsons. One of the ones I don't like that much.
Right.
But still.
Like the third
You
on the
know,
list.
yeah.
We're not gonna say which one it is,
Yeah,
but the
no,
third
not-
one, yeah, I would trade him off for
No,
a Pico Popper
there's
too.
a couple I wouldn't, but
Gotcha.
some I would.
Your dad once told me that every top water lure, the majority of them, the bottom of them are,
Like,
so you don't need anything else.
Yep.
So I looked at that in a whole different set of lenses now. I don't really give a crap what kind of top water lure I use.
Yep.
Because it's the bottom of a fish is white, the bottom of top water lure is white. I don't give a crap what it looks like as long as the bottom is white.
they used to. One of my favorite Picos is white with a red head.
Yeah.
And a lot of people have never seen that, but white with a red head, white with a black head.
Yeah.
I mean, they made them.
Now, in the collector world, I'm going to share a secret. I'm going to give a secret Dad didn't talk about. If you go pre-1970, I'd say, the most desirable color out there is, anybody want to guess?
Bullfrog,
Blue.
blue.
Any kind of blues colors. Navy blue, royal blue, robin egg blue. Those colors were never produced a lot for reasons I can't explain.
They're
Unless it was
ugly.
like some toxic
Yeah.
radiative color.
Yeah.
Kind of like in our food now, according to JFK Jr. I don't know.
Most of the guys in here are kind of closer to my age, and when we go to the sporting goods store, the majority of lures that were manufactured were red and white.
Right?
That was the number one manufactured color because it was easy to do for the manufacturers. But then they started getting fancy. So,
Yeah.
But
But
that's-
blue, there was not a lot of blue.
Yeah.
So it's kind of desirable. There was, and here's something,
it's called blue mackerel.
we didn't talk about this much, but there was a company called there was a color called Blue Mackerel, but here's the problem. There are a lot of guys out there today that can paint a lure that looks just like a factory one. I mean, so close it's hard to tell. So now in the astute wiggle wart world, if it's not sealed in a box, perfect, weighed, they're weighing them now for water content, humidity, moisture. When they're paying upwards over $1,000 for a lure, it's got to be documented now. Too many repaints out there are way too close, and it's kind of ruined the market. eBay, I would encourage everybody, if you're going to fish with one, yeah, you can buy them on eBay all day long. If you're going to collect them, stay away. Production numbers, low production numbers. Yeah, it's not a fish catcher. As Dion has said, and I will attest to it, there's really about 3 colors in a crankbait you need in any bait, and that's crawdad, and red.
Red craw.
And what else?
Well, here's a
You know,
situation of
and
stupidity.
it's a red crawdad.
Back, I'm going to say around 2000, somewhere in there, before Storm sold, which had been
99.
99, 98, Storm would special paint for you. You send them a color, they would special paint it. James and I had wiggle warts painted in head and frog color, and they did 144 as a minimum.
Don't say what the other color is because we knocked it off from a custom paint company. Don't want to.
Yeah, and then there was another color, and then there
Yeah,
was
we used
another
It
color,
was a really cool color, but some other guy was painting. And we're like, hey, wait a minute.
and we
Yeah.
were so excited because we did that but we did it to sell them in our store. And stupid ass me never kept one.
Oh, I've got one.
But in all my shopping, I found
We got one back.
one back that was still pristine in the box.
Now here's the
I'm
rest.
still missing the other one.
Yep. So we don't have the head and frog one. We got the knockoff one that we stole from somebody else. But yeah, we need a head and frog one. You got it?
Yeah, but that's
Yeah,
a repaint.
Berkey painted his own. He painted those, but yeah, that's not the same one. So here's how it went down. Back, was that early 2000s? I'd say. I think it was early 2000s.
See, they sold in '99.
So
it was before that.
Back when reps used to actually get off their asses and drive to tackle stores and try to sell stuff, which they don't do anymore. Now it's all B2B and buy on the internet. They used to actually come in and say, hey, we'd like your business, and we'd like to sell you some stuff. Rep would come in, he's like, we've got this great, cool. Well, the tackle industry, as we've been talking about for a year and a half now, they conglomerated and bought everybody out. So Rapala has like 16 brands under their umbrella, and one of those is Lure Jensen. Lure Jensen has some great baits.
Yep.
But what they did was they opened up Lure Jensen to a custom paint shop. So that year, anything Rapala made, they would send their blanks over to Lure Jensen. They would paint them, 144 pieces at a time. So we were like, so does that mean we can paint whatever we want if you want to buy a gross of them? Well, at the time it was $3. You buy, Wigglewort was like $3.63 wholesale. So we're like, well, holy crap. So we loved Head and Frog. And Head and Frog is a green bait with yellow circles on the top and little green black spots. It looks like a tree frog. So we sent that color of a like an actual head and lure. We sent it to Lure Jensen. They ate the bait. They get it to keep it. And then there was a custom painter down in southern Missouri who had painted this really cool color, which was a brown and purple and beige and all kinds of stuff. Yeah, we sent it off too. And they painted 144 of each with a cataloged number. Really cool, right? W04080 was the purple one. With the Head and Frog, we sold them out. Didn't keep one. So, but there are, in the collector world, I'm curious how many other tackle store owners took the foresight to develop a color of their own, put it out there. We have no idea. It's in the scheme of all this, I'll tell you a funny story. I had this great idea. Norman, a few years ago, sold out to Pradco. And Norman was another Oklahoma company that famously made the DD22, the Deep Little N, those little baits. And I'm like, I'm going to collect DD22s. They only made 95 colors, which is a lot of colors, but you can have a DD22 collection be pretty cool. Post Pradco, pre-Pradco. So I started collecting them. And then I found out they have a limited series. I'm like, okay, there's 85 colors of those. So I started working on that. And then I found out, well, they've also got a suspending series. And then I'm like, holy shit. So I'm like, now I'm up to like 216 colors. And then the limited series changed every year. And then like in 1999, they added like 4 colors, took 4 colors off every year. So each year was a whole different. So I got about 60 lures in and went, F that. I have a bunch of DD22s for sale. Yeah, it's crazy. But, and I'm trying to remember what were those little round lures you have?
Flutter fins.
So, great funny story. And then we're going to wrap it up tonight. So,
yep.
My dad. Yes, Glenn, I want one. Glenn Sims still has one of the bullfrog color.
Really?
Yep, you got it, Glenn. You got the lottery, Glenn. You can name your price, buddy. We'll take care of you. Says he's got 2 of them. See, this podcast worked. So there's a lure out there called a flutter fin.
I have real parts, Glenn.
Yep. There's a lure out there. You can look it up on your computer later, but it's called a flutter fin. It's a round ball. It looks like a golf ball. It has 2 blades on the front that fold, and they like flip around, and they have like a little bucktail behind it. Goofiest thing you ever saw. Came in what, 6 colors?
Yes.
6 colors. Pretty easy, right? So Dad says, I'm doing this. So he gets all 6 colors. They're made in the 50s, I believe. Mm-hmm. Put them in a shadow box, hung them on the wall. It's like, dun-da-da-da, complete collection. For a lure collector, it's kind of a big deal. So you find one with 6 colors, man, it's like banked, done. Now I am the astute collector. I have my first complete collection. He goes to a trade show, and they're like, yeah, they made those in the 40s in cork. I'm like, shit. So He digs around, finds 6 cork
I
ones.
found
The
hunted
round
them
ball is
down.
not plastic, made in cork, so he's get those 6 in cork. Like, yeah.
Mhm.
Now it's like complete. 5 years later, guess what? Somewhere between the 40s and 50s, they made one in a weedless model. Had a little weed guard on it. He's like,
But you got to understand, the weed guard model had little feathers on the trailing tail, so you couldn't
Yep.
just come up with a weed guard hook. You had to have the feathers and everything. And I found those, so I had 18,
which is cool about
which
going.
is cool.
But the cool thing is like the old collector shows versus online. You go to these, and it was. I got to tell you, the weirdest thing you'll ever see is go to a tackle show. They're weird, super weird, because they're all like retired bankers because they got so much freaking money. The only thing they want to do is collect lures. It's like money.
Yeah, they don't want to
And-
sell nothing either.
So
They want trade.
they have these events in hotels, and instead of having a big conference room, the couple nights before they all get hotel rooms and they have the beds removed. It's a true story, and they set up all their tables in there and they call it room to room trading. So you get your own room, and then you get a second room for your show, and then you go through this block of rooms and you shop from room to room, and they have all their collections in these hotel rooms. It's kind of funky, weird, but kind of neat in the same way. But you walk in there, and it's like, I think the first time I walked in, he had this, like, at the end of his footbed, like by the TV, he had this little reel, and I picked it up, and I'm like, this thing's really cool. And some guys, yeah, they only like 3 of those. It's like $35,000. And I was like, oh, it's like, holy shit, don't touch anything else ever again. But you go into rooms like that, and then you go into rooms where the guy's got bags of lures, like 200 crankbaits for $50, because he's accumulated all this crap, and he's like, goes to the show to sell that. But then you find this guy, and you walk around, it's like, hey, I'm looking for a weedless trailer for a flutter fin from 1955. And like, yeah, you can see Bob in 318. I think he's got one like that. It might be chartreuse, but what do you need? He's like, I don't care. And you walk around, and sure as the world, you'll find that crap. It's kind of cool. But as we've gotten, and you're not old, but those old school guys, they all just kind of died and went away, and there really hasn't been a resurgence of those collections. So
They
it's getting
wrote
harder and
books.
harder to find those.
They wrote books when they were younger and more astute, but as they die off, all that knowledge goes with them.
Yeah.
So it's neat that the lure clubs do what they do to compile all that information. But I want to finish my flutterfin story.
There's more?
There's more. I had
was
18
over it.
flutterfins. I had cork ones. I had all 6 colors, all 3 times, weedless, cork, plastic. And I'm at a show, and I'm telling the guy, I said, yeah, I finally found that brown one that I needed to have weedless. He said, really? He said, I've got 2 or 3 over here. And he picked one up, and the son of a bitch rattled. I'm not kidding you. He picked up this brown one. He said, I got this brown weedless. And he picked it up, and he said, look, it even rattles. And my dauber goes,
Here we go again.
It took me almost 4 years to find
6
the
rattling.
6 rattling ones. But I found them, and it was a good story because the last one I needed was a brown rattling weedless. And no, I
It's about
kept
the search, man.
and
don't just
you
buy
put
shit.
you
gotta
put your
find it.
notifications on eBay, and you hope that some bitch comes up for sale. And lo and behold,
Oh.
one day, bing, there it is. It's on eBay, and I'm going, oh God. So I didn't want it to get away. So I hope Joyce isn't listening, but I put well,
from
no, but I put, because they only take as much money as they need. So I put my protected price in for $400. I'll never forget it. And that baby went to $6, $7, and I'm holding my breath because you have all these sniper bids and stuff, and you can watch it. And somebody's rolled up, and it hit $9, and it rolled over and ended. And I bought my last one for $9 that finished my deal. So,
Yeah.
well, they just didn't use the money, but it was good. So
That's
now
funny.
they're all in a pretty box. I've got 24 of them, plus
Until
some
we
extras
find out
around.
later there was a floating,
Yeah,
sinking model or something. Yeah.
yeah.
Wait
But
till
that's
the
a-
suspenders get out.
But that's kind of the fun of being a lure collector. You learn as you go. one of the neatest things that I got into, I personally, not collecting, but researching Zebco reels. And it's kind of the opposite. And I'm going to close the show out on this, and it's kind of fun. All the real astute Zebco reel collectors, and if anybody knows a Zebco reel, it's a closed-faced push-button reel. But they started making the best reel the world has ever seen, and today it's the crappiest reel you've ever seen. So the collectors gauge it on how crappy they were built. They can tell you what year they were, and it's crazy. It's like, as we've gotten further into time, they've improved things. Zebco reels, no. They made them metal and cool and tough and tank, and now they're plastic shit for $4.98. But back in the day, they were badass and cool, and they made them, and you never really pay attention to a closed face reel, but the reel foot that you screw to your rod, they put a rivet in it. They just riveted it on the first year. And if anybody's ever messed with rivets and you torque on stuff, it gets loose. And then your reel foot released, and the reel will like spin back and forth. So the engineers are like, oh, we can fix that. Well, how do you fix it? Let's put in 2. So they put in 2 rivets, and that's cool. And then they decided later in the year, it's like, well, that didn't work either. Let's just mold it in. Well, let's don't mold it in metal. Let's do it in plastic. And then they go to plastic, and then it's like, well, let's don't do metal caps with plastic because the plastic breaks off on the reel seat. Let's change it. Let's make the plastic part metal, and then the metal part plastic. And then the caps broke off, and we're like, well, shit, let's just make the whole thing plastic. And they're like, well, then the gears are too good for plastic. Well, shit, let's just make the whole thing plastic. And we'll do that. And then we'll put crappy line on it and crappy plastic to hold the reel together. And now, the 202 was born. And there you go. It started out as a really cool reel, and it went to shit. So
to all my Zebco reel friends out there, I'm so sorry that
but
he just went on that rant.
But it's not a lie.
They make the bullet now.
It's $130, and it's not a Zebco. They went to
Zebco.
China, they took a Johnson's technology or something and made another reel and called it a bullet. And all that is a high-speed, closed-face reel. It's still a piece of crap. You know why?
Again.
Because we have a reel repair center.
Yeah.
I can tell you what's good or bad. Just for the record, I'm going to tell you right now, Daiwa, other than like the 1980s, we don't see too many of, do you?
I'm seeing an awful lot of
From
Tatulas.
one guy. Tatulas are later on down. I'm taking 80s,
Yeah. Oh,
80s
okay.
and 90s
Yeah.
reels.
Yeah.
Awesome reels. Lose, they were junk when they started and junk when they finished, so, you get what you get. Shimano, awesome Corrados, the 200, the green ones, super badass, good reels. Bearings and gears all went out of them. And then over the years, they started not selling parts. So they made them like they phased them out because just like any really good thing, and they're like, nah, we want it to be disposable. We want to sell more of them. So we're going to take the good shit and make sure you can't buy parts anymore. Thanks, Johnny Morris. Anyway, we go on with that. Shimano was a pretty good reel at the time, and now they're getting a little bit better. But we don't see, I'll tell you what we don't see. It's really crazy. Closed-face Shakespeare reels. Very rarely do you ever see those.
Well,
and
see them at Walmart.
They made them a bajillion of them. Let's talk about Walmart really quick about product
No.
quality. Real quick.
No.
There are 2 reels that are made. Zebco, Shakespeare, Okuma, Shimano, Lewis, Daiwa, all of them. There is a term called built to designer specs. Remember that, because they build a fishing reel, they build power washers, they build welders, they build everything to the specifications of the person that's selling them. So Walmart buys 5 million reels, but they're like, hey, can you cheapen them up a little bit? And they're like, yeah, we put plastic gears in and put them in a blister pack, and we'll sell them for $14. And then we have the same one here at the local store for $59. And they're like, I can buy the same one at Walmart. And I say, no, you can't. And they come in and go, it's the same one. I'm like, no, it's not. And then 2 weeks later, they come back and go, my ship broke. And it's like, yeah, I can't get parts for it. Well, why not? You're an Akuma dealer. Because it's built to Walmart specs. You got to take it back to them, and there's no parts available. That happens. Happened to me with a power washer at Walmart. Never forget this. Ever, ever, ever. Well, I will never buy a Campbell Hosfield power washer ever again in my life. Because I saved up my money as a young kid and went to Walmart and I bought a power washer, like super stoked.
He's really mad about that.
Oh, no, it made me so freaking mad. I bought it. I filled out the warranty card. It was like $99. And the time when you're working, selling cars for a living, it sucks. And I took it home. I turned it on, and the thing exploded. I never got to use it. So I'm like, taking it back to Walmart. And they said, you got to take that to Campbell Hosfield. You fill out your warranty card. Yeah, I did. You have to send it to them. So I called Campbell Hospital. They said, you got to take it to Walmart. And I said, but Walmart said, I got to take it to you. And they said, no, we built that to Walmart specifications. They have to warranty it. And nobody would. And I'm like, I will never buy anything from Walmart again that has a warranty. Ever, ever, ever. Did it a million times since then and got burned. But anyway, still. That's my
Guess
story.
what I got the other day, Dion? Guy came in.
And Mom says she's watching. You're already in trouble.
And he had a brand new Chronarch Gold Super Free still in the box.
Oh my gosh.
Yeah, which to all you rest of you that don't have any
How
idea,
does that happen?
super cool reel.
I don't know.
It weighs
How
like
do they
9
still have
pounds.
them?
You know, back in the day, it was super badass.
It's-
Now they're like heavy ass tanks.
It's beautiful.
Great operating
Huh.
reel.
So
Now,
yeah, I'll let you touch it sometime.
touch it. That's what
I'd
she
like
said.
to see it.
Okay, it's here.
I
I got it here.
got a cool
They
cool
were there
story
talking
about those
touching
chuggers.
tips and
Oh,
looking
wait.
to see it. It's like,
Wait,
what
we
the
got a
fuck?
chugger story.
I got a cool story about them chuggers.
All right.
We
Leon
were-
gets to speak tonight.
We were at Lake Sinclair, in Detroit, and came in the first day. Dad says, "Man, I really caught him pretty good on topwater day." I said, "Okay, which one?" He said, "Well, that perch got a little chugger." And I'm like, "Oh." I said, "Why? Why would you throw that in the lake?" Because I knew there was only about 3 of them in captivity, and I didn't think we had all 3 of them even at the tournament. You
Two
know,
owned by your mother.
yeah, and one of them in a box with, is it 10? Is it 10 or 6
What, in a
of
case?
the different? Yeah, the case. Because she
Six.
she had a shadow box of the 6 colors, and at the bottom of the shadow box, here's perch right there, and it hung in their motorhome. It hung right behind the dinner table. If you sat in the where I would sit at the dinner table, it hung right there on the wall. My dad comes in, tells me this, and I said, "Well, you know, what were you doing with it?" "Well, we were throwing it in patches, in small holes in eelgrass, where the wind would blow in against the bank, and there'd be just a little bitty hole. And if you could land that popper in there and pop it, you didn't even have to pop it, just land it in that hole, a good largemouth come out get it." Well, needless to say, we go out the second day, and I start trying it. Well, I don't have one of them at all. I've never been privy to own one of those. My dad kept them all, and I just tied on the cheapest piece of crap popper I had, which at that time was a Joe Renoski that you could buy at Walmart for like $2.99, and I bashed him. I caught him that day. I came in and I told Dad, I said, cut that damn chugger off, tie on this piece of crap, and I said, do the same thing with it. No, he says, I'm not doing that for the tournament. I sent my wife, because they sold at Walmart. Good thing about Walmart. They sold at Walmart, and they were a mainstay on the Walmart shelves. I told my wife, I said, go and buy every one of these that you can buy at Walmart. She says, what color? I said, I don't care. Whatever ones you can buy. I come in that night, and they're in a bag, you know, like you would buy clothes in. Not a tackle bag. I'm talking a clothes bag, you know. And she says, there's your bag. And I look at it, I'm like, what's in that? She says, those topwaters. I'm like, did you get a couple? And she's like, no, you said to buy all they had. And she had went to every Walmart store in the Detroit area. All right, she had traveled. She had covered some gas mileage. And
You have 200 Renoski poppers now.
and there's a bundle of them. And there's about 30 of them that's semi the right color. Now, the reason this
Semi
store...
the right color.
Close
They got
enough.
a white belly.
Yeah, they're close enough. And there's 500 of other colors that you could have used too.
Which is irrelevant.
Now the deal about this story is, most days we had 2 motorhomes that we traveled in, parked them side by side at them campgrounds. Well, in the morning, so I didn't wake my kids up and I didn't wake my wife up a lot of times, I would get up, go over to my mom and dad's, and eat breakfast the day before the tournament. And now we had 2 days of practice that I didn't have no baits. Going into the 3rd day of practice, I've got 1,000 damn baits. All right, we got plenty of baits. All right, I go next door. I carry Dad on an arm load. You know, I can't carry them all. I should have got a bigger bag, you know. But I carry him an armload of these over there, and I throw them out on the table, you know, before breakfast. And he said, "What are those?" I said, "That's the topwater you're going to throw in this bass tournament." I said, "Because it don't make no difference." I said, "I caught a bigger stringer of fish than you did yesterday on this piece of crap." I said, "Tie that on, get used to it, throw it." I said, "That way when that 40-pound muskie comes out of that hole and eats it, you're not crying at the end of the day, because he's not going to eat off your one of two chuggers you got left." And my mom says, "Hey, we're gonna eat cereal this morning," which is fine with me. She sets a bowl of cereal down, me sits the milk down there. I dump my milk, take a scoop of cereal, put it in my mouth, and I look up, and the perch colored one is missing out of her shadow box. I'm like, "You sorry bastard. Why would you do that?"
Because he was a user.
He was a user. And I mean, yep, I got a mouthful of Rice Krispies, and I look up and I'm like, holy shit, he took that out of my mother's box. Out of her collection that she had collected. He took that color of the tiny chugger. And I told her, I said, "Mom," I said, "see all these? That would save your lure if you just make him throw that."
She knew?
Yeah, no, she didn't know he took it. She says, "What do you mean?" She looks up there and it's gone. She's like, he said, "You know, I got up to pee about 3 in the morning," and he says, "I got that out of there." He says, "She would have never known if you wouldn't have told her." And I said, "Well, by God, I'm telling." I said, "Because you don't need to throw that." And I still think he threw it in the tournament.
Sure he did.
Oh, yeah, I'm sure he did.
Bless her heart, because I don't know if we would not want to repeat what she said.
Oh, no, it would have been bad.
Oof.
My mother could make most sailors blush.
Well, you know, it was an hour and a half tonight, just so we know.
What?
So, oh yeah, we're creeping up on it. So,
That's because you had all that bullshit you talked about early.
we gotta talk about live scope. That's just part of it.
Yeah.
So next week, hey, great show next week. It's Thanksgiving show that we always do. Our annual tradition now is last year, Dion was in the hospital, wasn't here, so we had Amy Hibden on, and I thought it was kind of cool. So Amy texted me today without the consent of her husband and said, "Hey, you know what? We should do the Thanksgiving show again because Dion's most thankful for me." And I'm like, "You're absolutely right. Let's book you on." So then I talked to Amanda and I said, "Hey, we all had to have the girls on this week. You know, that should be our annual thing." So next week we're gonna have the girls on, and we're gonna do a Thanksgiving show. So that's gonna be a good show, and that'll be all right. And then after that, I talked to Todd Tiger. And we're going to schedule him in, too. He just fished on the BSS side as a co-angler, correct? And did pretty well. And we haven't had a co-angler on the show yet. So it's been out there and did it. He almost made it to not really, pro side, not BSS, as FLW. We haven't had a BSS angler on yet.
All right, that's fine.
Don't question me here,
No,
boy.
I wouldn't question you.
All right.
If it's a sad story, your ass is not going to finish.
No, it's not a sad story, but it's nice. We haven't talked to somebody that's been out there and fished in today's world.
Oh.
And you just fished a couple months ago, right?
I'm getting really tired of you bringing that back up about the sad story.
2.5 weeks ago, fished in the BSS State Championships. Well, almost like this close. But you know how our local guys do. They always fall on their head on day 3. So but we'll talk about that too.
I was only a chicken leg away.
Oh,
he was a chicken leg away from 2 fish. So
that's so sad.
Gotta thank Lloyd at Hiawatha Beach for taking care of us with the microphones and the tech stuff and all that good stuff. Thanks again for Ron for the Basil Hayden. Thanks, Ed. We'll have you on again.
Yeah,
whenever
nice.
he decides to, he'll just come in and say, "I'm ready to be on the show again." Well, okay, we'll do another show. We should have a monthly lure show.
Okay.
We'll do one lure. How about that? I'll give you a whole month to come up with the information about one lure.
Old lure or new lure?
I might give you the lure. Maybe Dion and I will
like
give you the lure.
Do like a guest spot.
Yeah.
You know, come in. And,
a lure highlight section.
Yeah.
Once a month. We'll do one show on a lure. One lure. Be all right, right?
Yeah.
Because we can do like a show on Zebco Reels.
Yes, I got enough information. I could do 180,000 shows.
There, 180,000 shows it is. Right.
We're gonna do the one show though where we bring in
We're
the
going
mighty
7 nights a week. Folks.
where we bring in the mighty minnow.
Yeah.
Because it's the only lure you couldn't identify.
That was
the flying lure.
No.
We could do a whole show on the flying lure.
I got. You can close.
All right.
I didn't know what a lure was. I bought it in a box. I thought it was neat. I pretty much knew that it was a Bagley, but I couldn't identify it. And Dion knew what it was.
I did. That was
Which
He
is
crazy.
said,
rare.
"That's a mighty minnow."
That's
Because
right.
you
And I went,
blind,
"You
he
are
ain't
so
like-
full of shit." I said, "You,"
I
and
got
he
called
went-
everything but a white man. It was
Mhm.
crazy.
and I
Yeah.
said, "No, you."
Really?
And I put it on lure identification Facebook. We got a deal where you can put it on there, and these guys that are all brilliant, way smart.
And it came
And
up and said,
boom, it come right back. Said, "Ed, that's a mighty minnow from Bagley." And I went, "Oh God."
Nice.
He knew what it was.
We all
He didn't
excel.
tell
and
me.
now he rides my ass.
he didn't
all
talk
the
to me
time.
for like 3 days at work.
We all excel in our own little things.
Yeah.
You win one.
I got one.
Yeah.
That,
Like
that's
what?
the thing. I lose so many
Like the
times.
snake, like the snake tricks.
That's
That's
right.
a good one. You know
I
what that
lose.
is?
I
You know what
lose
snake
so
tricks
many.
is?
Yeah.
Absolutely.
Have you heard of that one?
That's only because his
That's a-
dad's got 2 truckloads of
That's
them.
a worm. That's a worm with a rattlesnake crankbait
And for the
head
most
on it.
part of red
And
ones.
they call it the snake tricks.
yeah.
Didn't work. No, it
Yeah.
didn't work. Have you been on the show yet? Oh, here we go. So after Todd Tiger, we're gonna have Travis Bullock on. We finished together too. We fished. We got the crappie stories. He fished the tour. His dad's psychotic. It's gonna be a great show. It'll be awesome. I said your dad's psychotic. It's gonna be a great show.
You
got
know,
all kinds
And he
of
was
stuff.
involved in the Philip Haynes.
That's right.
deal.
we had Philip on the show, and we talked about when we went to Stockton and we all jacked him on the wrong information. So yeah, there's gonna be some great stuff there. So we'll have him on the show. It's gonna be a great fall, Christmas, into the new year. We're gonna dive into Real Unfiltered with a bang. It's gonna be good stuff.
we really
With
need
a
to have it.
kinda Like,
We really
this.
need to have his dad sometime on the deal.
yeah.
I don't know. I don't know how
It
many
could
times
be
I hear the
bad,
same
yeah.
story from 1987 though.
It could be bad.
I can cut the show down pretty quick. We're gonna run a boat into an island on the trees, and we're gonna talk about me and Geet for 435 episodes.
That's the way
And
it would
that
be.
one time in Central Pro Am when he almost got there.
Yeah.
Other than that, no, that's it. Now I will.
I
There's a
agree.
good. I got a good boat racing story.
I
About
agree,
him.
but
I will tell you.
Every
I
phone
was
call
a
I get on
part
there
of-
with him, I hear about the same story. So
Just a really quick John Bullock story. We were gonna go for a boat race, and we were fishing a club tournament. Gonna go, and there was a smart mouth guy. I'm not gonna mention names, David Hendricks, but he was gonna like outrun us. All right. So we are in the boat, take off, and I mean, I think I can drive a boat, you know, and I know now that I cannot. Just so that we're clear, I'm not psychotic when I run a boat. You are amazing. I've told this before. If you've ever run with somebody who's spent 30, 40 years in a boat fast, they just know how a boat feels. They know how to feel the waves. They know how to drive a boat. They know how to get in really close proximity to everybody else. Now, I'm riding with John. Take off. There are 4-foot rollers that day, and it's nasty. And we are full out going in 2 Ranger 520s, full blown going, and we're ripping it. And we're having what I call the Lozark lumbar situation. You ever heard that one? That's when your back hurts so bad from banging around and shit. And I'm looking over like I'm holding on. I got the OS handle, and if anybody knows what the OS handle is, there's a handle in a Ranger boat. You reach down, it's like retractable. You hold on to it because it's the oh shit handle. And then the side, I'm holding on for everything I got. I look over at the old man. He's on his cell phone. He's one-handing it, and he's like going. He's trying to call Dave and tell him he's trimmed too high. We're like racing. You know, the boat's like 8 feet in the air, and he's like on the phone. He's like, hey, you trimmed too high. I was like, Jesus. That's one story of many. But I was pretty scared.
David Hendricks' dad and John Bullock throwed water on me and my brother one time in February.
Mm-hmm.
He had a Charger boat with a 200 on it.
You probably deserved it.
I'm restricted to a 150, you know, because I
Mhm.
fish BASS, and they throwed water on us going down the lake. John said when he got there, he said, nobody spoke for just a minute, and he finally told him, he said, he says, he's going to hunt you down. And he said, when he does, he says, I'm in the boat with you, and I'm going to get wet also. And John Henry,
Bullock.
Larry,
Larry.
Larry says, no, he won't. He says, oh, yeah, he will. He says, I know that kid.
Yeah.
He said, you should not have ran that close to him.
Mm-hmm.
Took me till about 2:30 that afternoon. And the only thing that pisses me off about it is we broke the ice going into the mouth of Gravois. By that afternoon, it had warmed up to into the 30s. So when I douched them off later on that day, it was not nearly as cold.
Mm-hmm.
But oh man, I hunted them all day long.
Got one better.
I finished second in the tournament. I would have won that damn thing if I hadn't hunted them so hard.
Get this. It's a better story.
And if I hadn't let my brother out, my brother would have just killed them. He'd have killed them both, you know.
Guy by the name of Mike Inman. You don't know him. Drives a Black Ranger boat. Always has. World. But we had this little game where we would swamp each other. It's kind of fun, right?
Oh yeah.
You know, trim it up, throw about 800 gallons of water in the boat, you know, before takeoff. It's kind of a fun thing. And we got back and forth where we were getting a little out of hand. So at the time, I had bought, or Dad had bought, because I was a trust fund baby. You know, Dad paid for all my fishing. I think it was an '01 Ranger that he bought from your dad, and it was a white Ranger with a maroon, the maroons flashing on it. Your dad loved that color, so he bought the same boat again. Here goes the story. So we're swamping each other and playing these games, and so one day Mike's running down the lake, and he says, he's telling me later, he called me and said, "Hey, got something to tell you." All right. He said, "I almost died today."
Got that guy with the yellow
He said,
hat
"We need to
with
have a truce." And I said, "Why is it truce?" He said, "I was in Gravois, and I saw you on a point." And I said, "I wasn't there." He said, "Oh, I know that now." He said, "I saw you out there about 200 yards. I'm like, I got you, bitch." And he said, "I raced down there 60, 65 mile an hour, and I shut her down, and I threw her sideways, and I threw a cascade." And as I threw my cascade, I looked over, and it was not you. He said, "But it was a nightmare." And I said, "Why?" He said, "It was Guido Hibden." And I said, first of all, how'd you mistake me for Guido Hibden? He said, "I wasn't paying attention. That's not the point." He said, "So I pulled away really fast, and I realized I made a huge error. So I went back to apologize," which was my second biggest mistake.
Bigger error. That's right.
When I went back, I was approached with a man holding a handgun who was going to shoot me.
He was not over it yet.
Yeah.
That's right.
And he's like, "What the hell?" So we were going to make a truce, except 2 weeks later, I saw him in a pontoon boat, and he had a yellow pontoon boat. And I thought, I'm going to get him. And I did. I hosed him down, not realizing his 80-year-old parents were in a pontoon boat with him. And after they almost went to the hospital, we declared a truce. And that was the end of that story. So yeah, swamping is kind of a big thing. It's kind of cool. And for those who have never done it, if you take your outboard motor, you trim up your prop to where the blade sticks out about that far out of the water, and you hit the throttle really fast, you can effectively put about 600 gallons in a guy's boat in like 2 seconds. Yeah, buddy.
That's how they put out fires.
Yeah. So anyway, that's the show, guys. We will talk again tomorrow or next week, Saturday, Wednesday night at 6 o'clock. We're gonna have the girls on,
The
right?
night before Thanksgiving.
You gonna be on, Amanda? Yep, she said she'd be on. So we got the girls on. It's gonna be a great time. You all have a great time tonight. Be careful, and we will see you next week at 6.